that during those visitations,
this was May 26,
and I told them I
2020.
wanted out of the Methodist
This is
church.
after I lost custody of the boys.
In a Methodist church. They tried to keep me in there, and then they tried to kick me out without having proper documentation. Like they said, well, you know, you're not going to visit your children in this program. And I said, based on what? There's more to it than that. And so I'm just trying to simplify it. So I called Carl. I said, I have a case for litigation against the Methodist Church for sexual assault, and they have denied my visitation. I was also consulting with an attorney that I still consult with named Jory Hersher, who used to be a police officer. Okay? I've taken all of this on by myself, Joyce, by myself, and I'm okay with that now. I've accepted it. I'm okay with it. And so that's what happened. And then I called Carl. I said, I have a case for litigation against the Methodist Church. He probably called the domestic relations office, and they called me back and they said, we want to give you another chance. I didn't do anything wrong. What they didn't like is that I had a brain, and I started asking questions. And there were things that were going on with the visitation inside the Methodist Church that were against the policies of the Methodist Church. But when you have a legal organization using a church building, things get complicated. But it's still important to know the policies.
Hey, can I ask you something? Did you do all this while you were trying to get custody of the kids?
I went through all of this by myself. I took on all of this by myself.
I understand that, but did you do this while you were trying to get custody of the kids? You were going through the stuff with the Methodist Church and your dad?
I was going through that. My car was withheld from me for 7 months. I'm telling the truth. I can back it all up with documents. My car was held.
I'm just wondering why you would go through all this while you're trying to get your children. I mean, that's a little too much to take on. I mean, I'll be like, good Lord.
I had no other option, Joyce.
I guess I'm asking, like, well, couldn't you wait until after you got custody of the children to go after the Methodist?
It didn't matter. It didn't matter, Joyce. I was in the middle of all of it, okay? Because
but I mean, you made the decision to actually go after the Methodist Church while you're trying to get your kids, right?
There's a lot that I have left out, Joyce, that I haven't shared with you. Okay?
Oh,
I didn't.
I was just asking. I mean, were you doing this while you were trying to get your kids? I was just asking that.
I didn't have any other option, Joyce. I didn't have a choice.
Oh, no.
I was in a contract to file a lawsuit against the United Methodist.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not criticizing it. I was just asking a question. Oh my God, were you going?
No, I'm not trying to. I don't mean to sound defensive. That's not what I mean.
I can hear her, please. Thank you so much, sir. That's what I was just asking. I mean, I'm listening to what was going on. I'm like,
I was in a contract before the custody trial. I was in a contract to file a lawsuit against the United Methodist Church with Harrison Fisher. He had already handled another lawsuit. Okay.
This before the kids. Then.
This was before the custody trial. Yes.
Okay. That's what I was asking.
Unfortunately, I knew at some point. I knew what I was working against. I knew that. But I knew that I had to see it all through. I had no other option but to see it all through.
No, I mean, I see where you're coming from. I mean, I understand. I mean, if you've got a problem with what's been going on, then you've got to take hold of it and call it out. I get it. I understand. I've got to give you props, girl, for doing all this at the same time, along with dealing with your custody of your kids. That's all.
My car had been held from me.
Top for it. Good girl, you got more strength than I do because I probably would have done one at a time. So, girl, that's strength.
My car had been withheld from me for 7 months. So my car.
I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
My car had been withheld from me for 7 months by the same attorney I'd hired to file a lawsuit against the Texas Annual Conference.
Why would they withhold your car?
So he had agreed to help pay for the cost of the repair of the car because I was under contract with him, and
I get it.
Okay, so he had my car towed. Now, I don't know this for a fact because I have nothing to prove. I'm sure the conference was involved in this. I think that the conference, because my story is pretty incriminating for them. They didn't want my story out in the media. So I posted it all on Facebook, okay? And I did it. It was strategic on my part, okay? I did it so that it would become a part of public record. All the documentation, all the documents from the Texas conference from Harrison Fisher. Because when Harrison Fisher, this is where he screwed up, okay? When he gave me my documents back, he included a document of a girl who filed a lawsuit against the Texas conference for sexual assault. And she's listed in an article with KHOU and with a Methodist article on the internet. Her abuser's name is listed as Kendall Graham. She's listed as Jane Doe. I have the document, which is, her real name is Alicia Provost. So list her real name. I got in touch with her on Facebook when I was in the shelter. And I said, here, I have this document here with your personal information. Don't you want it? This document, to give you an idea of how important and serious this document was, this document was associated with a multi-million-dollar contract between Harrison Fisher, the attorney who handled the lawsuit, and the Texas Annual Conference that's worth $2 or $3 billion, and Bishop Jones, who serves as the bishop, is also on the board of Methodist Hospital. And this document also was a part of a contract between the Texas Conference, Harrison Fisher, and Alicia Provost. And Harrison Fisher leaked it in my paperwork. The reason why was because there were similarities in her case and mine. She was adopted into the home, and the wife helped lure her into the home, just like my mother helped my father. You don't want to talk. I wanted my car back, so I put it all out on social media and exposed it. And I did it because I wanted it to be on public record, all of those documents from the conference, because I knew they wouldn't want that. And Carl tried to say that the reason why I did it was because I was mentally ill. Those documents have nothing to do with my mental health.
But he used that against you to get for the kids.
He tried, but my attorney tried to argue it away because she was pissed off because she didn't want those documents on public record because she had been a part of the Texas conference for 75 years. But regardless, if I had not spoken out against the conference, I still would have lost custody of the kids because Judge Prine had a history of taking children away from women. Harrison Fisher warned me of that. And I asked Elsie Martin Simon, it was confusing for me. I asked Elsie Martin Simon, she said that wasn't true. I trusted Elsie because I knew there were a lot of people she and I knew mutually. Her pastor, I went to college with, I'd known him for like 20 years, the former pastor of St. Paul's down in the museum district. And what you don't know, that I know from my own research, we have family that goes back in the Methodist Church as far as the mid to late 1800s. In fact, even before the Texas Conference existed. And there was a county judge named Judge Hassel, your mother would know who he is, who served as a layperson in the conference administration and was very involved in the Methodist Church and had a great-grandfather that was a circuit riding minister. The reason why I'm saying that it was significant for me, for what I went through, to find out that I had roots far deeper than just my parents in the Methodist Church, and I've had to process all of that. For 5 months, I didn't have transportation, Joyce, and I walked in a dangerous part of Houston before 5 a.m., 2 miles a day, to get to work by myself. That is a part of what I've gone through in the past several years.
What was it, the van that they took? Your mom?
No, the van, I'll explain. You may get pissed off, but,
Tell me anything.
So,
you don't have to.
No, I'll tell you how I got the cars fixed. I did get the cars fixed. I sold one, but yes, I got the cars fixed.
Oh, okay.
And I'll tell you, someone out of the blue called me with the Texas conference, okay?
Uh-huh.
And I was shocked because I thought, okay, this has got to be good because I've just thrown these people under the bus big time. And there was a beneficiary check for my mother. It wasn't much. And so they called me and they said, you have this beneficiary check and it's almost defaulted or expired. I can't remember what they said. And they said, you need to come and claim it. So I did.
Right.
I spoke with the lady. Her name was Barbara. And what she had told me, because she didn't really know all of the history, and she had invited me into the conference building, but there was no way in hell I was stepping foot in that building again by myself. And had she known the history, she never would have invited me in. And she said, I'm so sorry for whatever happened to you, but I hope you find peace. I spoke with her on the phone later. She told me that the beneficiary check, she had found it in an unlabeled folder, okay? Now, the chances of that happening in this administration, Joyce, are very low. And even if it did happen, they would have called you and said, hey, we're sorry this happened. We're going to get a new check issued to you. No problem. But that was on purpose. And it was by her grace and her goodness that she reached out to me and said, you have this beneficiary check. And then she said, let me know if you have any issues with it. And I said, okay. And if it had been anybody else, the chances of that happening would have been extremely low. That just does not happen. But it was because I had exposed this large administration. These were people I grew up around. I spent more time around these people than my own family, my own flesh and blood. So I never wanted to go against them.
No, I'm sure you didn't.
I didn't have a choice. So that is a lot of what I haven't known. I haven't had a clue who to trust. I've had to start completely over.
Okay.
Completely. I've had no one.
I'm sorry, honey. I really am. I'm really sorry you're going through all this. I really am. I mean, on the Bible, I'm really sorry you're going through all this. I really am.
I'm not looking for handouts from my family.
Maybe I'm not trying to give it. I'm really sorry you're going through all this. I really am. I don't wish it on anybody.
I'm not looking for anybody to take my problems on.
But I guess my question is for you is me and you sitting here talking. What would you like? Would you like me to help you out with your custody stuff, or what exactly do you want me to do for you?
There's a possibility that we can turn this around.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. There was a cat come up to me. I'm sorry, what?
There's a possibility that we can turn this around. But, I think that we have to start small with baby steps. I really didn't. I didn't expect for this conversation to end up the way we're talking right now.
Well, I didn't. I'm a very hot-headed person, Kay. You've known me forever. You know I get heated. But when I calm down and I listen.
Well, me too. I'm hot-headed.
I just, whatever you went through and whatever you're going through, nobody deserve to be treated like shit. And you deserve the best in life like everybody else. And from what I'm hearing is you're not getting it. And if there's something I can do to help, then you know what? You have somebody in your corner that will at least help you.
Well, one of my concerns, of anybody that could, just hear me out, please, of anybody that could be in communication with Carl, because he hasn't gotten that far because I'm too damn smart. But he would love to have me arrested under false pretenses to cover his story, and I can't afford that. I've been through enough trauma. He plays games with me.
I'm sorry, hold on. What is that noise, Ashley? Okay, sorry, go ahead. My daughter just came down.
He plays games with me, and he said recently he wanted me to meet him in a park, and that's not a safe situation.
Wow.
And I haven't had anybody to go with me, and I don't think I really want you. I don't want you in that position.
No, but what I would
I just don't.
If that happened ever again, is I would call a police officer and ask the police officer to meet you.
That's not going to work, because the way the way the court ruled, I'm fucked for right now. The way the court ruled, I'm just screwed. Let's talk more about this later, because I'm tired after explaining everything. It wears me out. It truly does.
Girl,
This phone call was made on May 26th of 2020. This is after I lost custody of the boys.
Yeah, this is Kay. I just wanted to know why you offered to help with the visitation. Because, Kay, that was like 3 years ago. I don't have time to mess with your family. It wasn't 3 years ago. No. I want you to stop and listen to me. Just listen to me. Mm-hmm. Whatever's going on in your life, I really don't care about anymore. Listen to me. I swear to God, if you just shut the fuck up. If you don't leave me alone, I will file a restraining order against you. I don't want anything to do with you. Hey, I don't want anything to do with you. I don't want anything to do with you. You shut the hell up. You don't listen. Stop calling me. Get this on the radio recorder. Stop calling me. I have nothing to do with you. You are dead to me. Are you on your medication right now? Stop. Have you gone through a psychiatric evaluation for you? That's what I hear, that you're screaming and yelling at. Hey! I hear that you're screaming and yelling and that you're upset.
This phone call was made on May 26th of 2020. This was my cousin Joyce. I had asked her to help me with my visitation. She had agreed to do so. She is listed in the court order to assist with the visitation. And this is one of the examples of the fact that I cannot visit my children unless it's under some type of abusive condition. And if someone contacts my ex-husband, Carl Edward Anthony, to try to help me visit my kids, he is not cooperative unless he knows that it would be an abusive situation for me, which is not a good situation for our children. And Joyce has attacked my mental health. She has accused me of being mentally ill. This phone call was made on May 26th of 2020. This is after I lost custody of the boys.
Yeah, this is Kay. I just wanted to know why you offered to help with the visitation. Because, Kay, that was like 3 years ago. I don't have time to mess with your family. It wasn't 3 years ago. No. I want you to stop and listen to me. Just listen to me. Whatever's going on in your life, I really don't care about anymore. I have to go get involved. Listen to me. I swear to God, if you just shut the fuck up. If you don't leave me alone, I will file a restraining order against you. I don't want anything to do with you. Hey, I don't want anything to do with you. I don't want anything to do with you. You shut the hell up. You don't listen. Stop calling me. Get that fucking radio recorder. Stop calling me. I have nothing to do with you. You are dead to me. Are you on medication right now? Stop. Have you gone through a psychiatric evaluation? What I hear that you're screaming and yelling at. Hey! Hear that you're screaming and yelling and that you're upset.
This phone call was made on May 26th of 2020. This was my cousin Joyce. I had asked her to help me with my visitation. She had agreed to do so. She is listed in the court order to assist with the visitation. And this is one of the examples of the fact that I cannot visit my children unless it's under some type of abusive condition. And if someone contacts my ex-husband, Carl Edward Anthony, to try to help me visit my kids, he is not cooperative unless he knows that it would be an abusive situation for me, which is not a good situation for our children. And Joyce has attacked my mental health. She has accused me of being mentally ill.